You think you belong here? The sergeant roared, slamming her against the cold cement wall as the room of young soldiers erupted in cruel laughter. Their voices echoed like a pack of hyenas, chanting, mocking, daring her to break. His fist hovered inches from her face as he snarled, "This isn't a place for weak little girls. Choke her out. Show her what happens when you don't belong." Her jaw clenched, her boots dug into the floor. But she didn't move, didn't cry, didn't even blink. The silence of her defiance burned hotter than any insult. The soldiers leaned forward, expecting her collapse, craving the spectacle of her humiliation, yet she simply stared at him, eyes sharp, unyielding, almost dangerous. The sergeant smirked, puffing out his chest, feeding off the laughter behind him. To them, she was just a rookie recruit, another fragile outsider to break down and send running back home. His voice cut through the jeers. "What are you waiting for? Beg, quit, prove us right." But inside her chest, her heart wasn't pounding from fear, it was pounding from fury. Fury at the way every woman who had walked through those barracks had been mocked, doubted, underestimated. Fury at the idea that her worth was decided by the sneers of men who had no idea who she truly was. She could have revealed the truth right then. She could have pulled out the sealed orders folded neatly in her pocket. But no, not yet. Instead, she whispered, low and steady, "You'll regret this." The laughter faltered for the first time. The sergeant stiffened, his grip tightening just enough to mask his unease. "What did you say?" Her eyes narrowed. "I said, you'll regret every second of this." For a moment, the room fell eerily silent. Then one soldier burst out laughing, and soon the hall roared again. The sergeant released her with a shove, spitting, "You'll be gone in a week." But he didn't know who she was. 2 days earlier, she had stood in a crisp uniform before a row of flags, accepting her commission. She had trained longer, fought harder, sacrificed more than anyone else in that room would ever know. While they were in school dances, she was on the ground in desert heat, carrying wounded brothers to safety. While they were celebrating weekends, she was learning strategy under fire, studying battle maps by flashlight. And while every voice told her she'd never rise beyond the rank of officer, she proved them wrong, again and again. Her superiors knew it, the Navy knew it, and now the Army would learn it too. Because she wasn't just another recruit. She was their newly appointed admiral, sent undercover to see firsthand the culture poisoning her ranks. The next morning, the sergeant strutted into drills, barking orders, smirking every time his eyes landed on her. He pushed her harder than the others, extra laps, heavier packs, endless push-ups in the mud. And yet, she never broke, not once. While the others collapsed, gasping, she stood tall, dripping sweat, muscles trembling, but still standing. Whispers began to spread among the soldiers. Who was she? Why hadn't she quit? Why did her stare cut deeper than any blade? By the third day, even the sergeant couldn't hide his frustration. His shouts grew harsher, his punishments crueler, but with every challenge she conquered, the power he thought he had began to slip. And then it happened. The commanding officer called an emergency assembly. The room filled with soldiers snapping to attention, their laughter gone, replaced with curiosity. The sergeant stood proudly in the front row, still ignorant of the storm about to strike. The door swung open, and there she was. No longer in the plain fatigues of a recruit, but in the pristine white uniform of an admiral. Her shoulders carried the weight of authority. Her chest bore the medals of battles won. The room froze, the sergeant's jaw dropped. His face drained of color as the commanding officer announced, "Soldiers, meet Admiral Carter, your new commanding officer." Gasps rippled through the ranks. Every soldier who had laughed, every man who had doubted, now stood rigid with shock. The sergeant's hands trembled at his sides. The same woman he had shoved, mocked, and humiliated was now the highest authority in that room. Her eyes swept over the crowd before locking on him. Silence stretched like a blade at his throat. She stepped forward, her voice calm, unwavering, and full of iron. 3 days ago, you told me I didn't belong. You tried to break me. You thought I was beneath you." The sergeant swallowed hard, eyes darting to the floor. She continued, her words slicing through the air. But leadership is not about strength of fists or cruelty of words. It's about integrity, respect, and the courage to lift others higher. And today, Sergeant, you will learn that lesson under my command. The soldiers erupted, not with laughter this time, but with thunderous applause. Some even shouted her name, pounding their fists against their chests in respect. The sergeant lowered his head, shame burning across his face, and for the first time in his career, he had no words. Never underestimate someone because of their appearance, their gender, or your assumptions. Power built on intimidation crumbles. True strength reveals itself in silence, in resilience, and in the moment of truth. And that day, justice was served not with fists, but with respect earned forever. Before we end this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comment.